Hey guys, it's carsonmtech here, back with another video, and in today's video I'm joined by another great creator who is known here on YouTube as Brian Alex.
Hey.
Together we are not only going to be comparing the Panasonic G85 and the Sony A6300, which both run at a very relatively similar price point at around $1,000, but we are also going to be offering some of our own views on whether or not we believe each camera is right for you. With that being said, I'm going to begin talking about my good old trusty G85 here. From the robust build quality of the camera body, ease of use, ergonomics, to the customizable buttons found all over the body of the camera, the Panasonic G85 was made with all types of creators in mind. The G85 as a kit comes with a 12 to 60mm lens right out of the box, allowing for wide and far away shots to be caught at a crisp 16 megapixels. The 12 to 60mm lens isn't just an average lens though, as it's a lens that includes optical image stabilization that works in conjunction with the in-body image stabilization of the Panasonic G85, which combined forms what Panasonic likes to call dual IS, or dual image stabilization. The dual IS may not at first seem necessary if you're a person who likes to let their camera live on a tripod 90% of the time, but for that remaining 10% of the time when you're getting B-roll or occasionally vlogging, the dual IS proves to always work in your favor. Just a simple comparison between a camera without any stabilization to the dual IS of the G85 will leave you never wishing to live without a feature such as it again. Another thing to mention is that the dual IS isn't only helpful for videos, but rather for photography and especially long exposure photography as well. The stabilization will help to eliminate pretty much all small hand movements you may make while taking photos, reducing any blur that may typically pop up. While on the topic of video, the G85 can shoot up to 4K at 30 frames per second and 24 frames per second at 100 megabits per second. One major downside with the video though from the G85 is the fact that you won't be getting the slow motion that you can get from the A6300, as the highest frame rate the G85 can shoot at is only 1080p at 60 frames per second. The camera really does a great job with video at 4K during the day, but one thing to keep in mind is that with only a micro 4/3 size sensor, the video will not turn out as stellar in lower light environments because only so much light can be absorbed by a sensor of this size. However, as shooting in daylight, which I don't currently have, or general good lighting for regular video, or for vlogging is typically the most likely scenario, you won't be disappointed with its performance. Speaking of performance, the battery life is pretty astounding as it's capable of recording typically around an insane 90 minutes of 4K footage before stopping due to battery life. Speaking of, you can record a continuous 4K file until your memory card fills up with just one file that isn't broken up into 8-minute files like previous Panasonic cameras have. So with the G85, you won't have to worry about any of those pesky overheating warnings like you get with the A6300. You also won't be disappointed if you're getting this camera for vlogging, as this screen is not only a touch screen, but has the ability to flip around 180 degrees, so then you can see yourself while filming. Though the audio directly from the camera is not the greatest whatsoever, so if you're going to be filming a lot of video with this, you're going to want to make sure to go out and pick up something such as the Rode Video Micro, which you can go and just pop right on top of the camera and plug directly into it.
Wait. The G85 is a fine camera, but I think there's another option you should consider for the same price.
First, the A6300 is a very small camera. That means that you don't necessarily need a camera bag. You can just put it in your pocket. It doesn't compromise on functionality though. You still have lots of dials and programmable buttons for profiles. And despite its size, it has a big APS-C sensor. It's not full frame, but it sure lets in more light than micro 4/3. And the 24 megapixels lead to lots of detail. The camera takes some great stills, especially in low light, and when it comes to bokeh, the sensor should play out its advantages. But video is where it really shines. It records 4K at up to 30 FPS with a 100 megabit bitrate, and to get that 4K image, the camera actually downscales native 6K footage from the sensor to get even more sharpness. You have tons of options for codecs and other frame rates too. You even get log profiles for advanced color grading. Plus, autofocus is really fast and accurate, no matter which resolution you shoot at. But one special selling point at this price is 120 FPS slow motion at 1080p. This is amazing for smooth handheld B-roll footage, since you can slow the video down 5 times to reduce shake.
This is also kind of necessary since the A6300 doesn't have built-in stabilization. Sony has you pay almost double for that with the A6500. With lenses that have in-lens stabilization, like even the kit lens, that is a compact 16 to 50mm by the way, you can still get some smooth footage at normal speed though.
Let's get some more things out of the way. The camera does have a flash and an electronic viewfinder, thought I should mention that given the size. And one thing I also like about Sony cameras that I just discovered recently is that because of the small sensor distance of the E-mount and the same sensor size, you can use Canon lenses on the A6300 for example without losing f-stops. That considerably extends the lens selection. Battery life is pretty good and you can charge the camera through micro USB on the go, but what will rather limit your shooting time is heat. Since the A6300 is so small, you should give it some time to cool after about 30 minutes of continuous 4K recording. That can be an issue if you want to live stream. You also neither get a touchscreen nor one that flips around, so you can't see yourself while filming unless you use an external monitor.
Although you may not be able to see yourself while filming, Brian, I surely can, and because of that, and numerous other reasons, I see myself leaning towards the G85 more than the Sony A6300, and here's why. Although the G85 lacks the small pocket form factor, 24 megapixel APS-C sensor, and the ability to shoot slower video, the G85 still manages to hold on to many other features that are necessary for filming and photography that the A6300 lacks. Summarizing those into the end here, the G85 has the amazing in-body image stabilization, which results in some great stable shots both in video and in photos that you may not be able to get otherwise with the A6300. The G85 also is capable of shooting for longer periods of time in 4K without you needing to worry about the overheating issues. Even if you're not shooting in 4K, the batteries far outlast the A6300 on the video side, but oddly enough, it's fair mentioning that the A6300 is capable of taking 400 photos on a single battery, whereas the Panasonic G85 can only take around 80 less at around 320, so it's kind of strange. But Panasonic G85 does have a lot of upsides with a few pitfalls, but what type of creator is this really for? In my opinion, I believe this camera is more for the avid videographer out there who is more into using their camera for shooting videos and maybe taking an occasional photo or two. I don't believe this camera takes bad photos at all. Like, it takes great photos, and especially with the cool features not even mentioned earlier in this video, such as time-lapse mode and post-focus mode, which the A6300 doesn't have. I do believe if you are taking photos more frequently than videos, you may want to look into the A6300 because it boasts both the larger APS-C sensor and higher megapixel count. But with that being said, which camera do you think is the better option for you? Don't make your choice just yet, because make sure you head on over to Brian's channel first and listen to what he has to say about the A6300. There should be a button right now, right here on screen, so it's easy to do that. But with that being said, if you liked this video, make sure to let me know by clicking that thumbs up button down below. And if you'd like to see any future videos from Brian or I, make sure to press the respective subscribe buttons over there and here as well. Thanks Brian for collaborating with me on this. But anyways guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.